A'udhu billahi minash shaitani al-la'ini rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My elders, Pramukh Sahib, Honorary Bhai Vice Chair, my counterpart Mahmood Bhai Dhalla, the Assistant Secretary General of the World Federation, and my seniors, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I get into the introductions and give you a little bit background, let me, on behalf of my president, myself, and the entire team, wish each and every one of you Mubaraki on the wiladat of our Holy Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. It so happened to be Miladun Nabi and the President was in town, but inshallah he will be addressing the community tonight at the Kushali program, where we are also honored that Dr. Sheikh Murtaza Ali Dina will also be reciting Majlis tonight, and Dr. Ali Dina is the new head of Islamic Education Department at the World Federation. So today Hujjat is full of World Federation people. Just as a way of introduction, so that we can, in keeping in time, Honorary Bhai Kalfan, whom a lot of you already know, is the Vice Chairman of Africa Federation. He was also Anwar Bhai's Secretary General when Anwar Bhai was the President at Africa Federation as well. Honorary Bhai is here on a visit, so will the President of Africa Federation come inshallah on the weekend as well. Most of you know Anwar Bhai from before, and for those of you who don't know him, I'll give you a very short potted history about Anwar Uncle. Originally from Tanzania, and he's a man who we say says little, but whose actions speak a lot louder. So if you have recently gone to Dar es Salaam and seen the new mosque that was built under his chairmanship of Dar es Salaam Jamaat. And for our community that was displaced during the time of Mogadishu crisis, at the time the resettlement Setwell Board chairman was Anwar Bhai Dharamsi. So if anybody has been displaced from Mogadishu, if anyone they know, they will definitely know Anwar Bhai. After his 2 terms as president of Dar es Salaam Jamaat, he then became the president of Africa Federation for 2 full terms, after which constitutionally he could not stand to give him karusu. તો મેં કીધું અહીંયા ગાદી ખાલી થાય છે તો મેં અહીંયા આવી જાઉં ને હવે તમારો એક્સપિરિયન્સ અમને આપી જાઓ. So when Dr. Molidina's term finished, Anwar Bhai got elected as the president of World Federation in May 2017, unopposed. So there was nobody who stood up against Anwar Bhai and giving him the full mandate of the global community, of the faith that the global community has under his leadership. And at his request, he asked me to continue to be the vice president of the World Federation at conference. That is a very short history of where Anwar Bhai hails from. And I have 2 matters to talk to you about, because when I was speaking to Murtaza Uncle, he said, we want to know about Davos, which we will talk about today. So I will split my, there will be lots of data and information. And as Uncle Anwar Bhai will always say, "Tame je sawal hoy ઈ કરો એના જવાબ અમે દેશું." So today there will be more time for questions. We will try to answer. So we will do it on 2 parts. I will give you information and data about what happened in Davos, why that was done, and I will also give you some update of what is happening at the World Federation level, and then Anwar Bhai will take, and I myself will take, or Oni Bhai is here. એટલે આજે પૂરા દુનિયાના સવાલ કરો. ઇસ્લામિક એજ્યુકેશનના સવાલ નહીં કરતા, એ રાતના શેખ અલી દીન આવે છે, એ તમને એના જવાબ દેશે. The Khoja Business Leaders Summit was organized independently of the World Federation. We were invited to Davos as participants and as the World Khoja body. Anwar Bhai, myself, Mahmood and Shani Abbas and Muhammad Kazim Ballu all attended as participants. So we asked what was the purpose of holding a business leaders summit. And they told, so some of their work was they wanted to create a greater network of the highest thinkers and the philanthropists of the community. So they wanted to create a greater network. They wanted to create cooperation for social investment, for ensuring that our communities were economically developed. And more importantly, they wanted to advocate and promote Khoja institutions, Khoja philanthropy, and more importantly than that was they wanted to recognize some of our community members have excelled in their professions. So we have people who work for NASA. We have people who are judges. We have people who reach very high stations within their own field, right? I will give you one example. In Stanmore, there is a young boy who sits on the Law Society Committee for information. So this whole new thing about data protection and all of that, he has been appointed on the government's Law Society. It is very rare to get appointed, and he's a member of this community. So those who don't know him, it's Akbar Datu, the one who normally recites Marcia and Munajat when he's here. So we've got so many such young people and older people who've done very well within their professions. So they wanted to get all of them together to see what can be done, how can they add value to the community, more importantly, value to the community institutions that is going on. One thing that they realized is that a lot of the philanthropists, particularly out in Africa and North America, have set up their own foundations. Now, a lot of these foundations have been set up for tax efficiency purposes because they get a lot of tax advantages of having their own foundation. So it was a way of getting everybody together and saying, how can you help people from our own community first? Humanitarian work is very good and we need to help everybody. So that was the concept under which these people wanted to bring everybody together. How can we help people of our own? We have issues in this country, but if you go to Africa, for example, there is bigger welfare issues, right? And how can we help people, but not only through handouts, but economically uplift them? So, for example, one of the talks that was there was from a Khoja brother who is a doctor in New York, Riaz Hasnali. He works with a foundation in New York, in Buffalo, where when the Haiti crisis happened, in fact, before the Haiti crisis, he is a surgeon. And when the massacre was taking place in Bosnia, they used to go out and perform surgery and come back to New York. And every time they wanted, they used to go do surgery and come back. And then they realized that this is creating a dependency culture, because if they are not there, you can't do surgery. How will this become sustainable? So with the Bosnian government then, they started bringing doctors, these are Shia doctors, from Bosnia to New York for training. And when they would go, instead of staying for 2 days, they would stay for 5 days and do 3 days of training. So that over a period, in 6 months, the local Bosnian doctors were able to perform surgeries themselves. And today, it has become the center for cardiac surgeries in the whole of the Balkan states. People from Holland, people from Switzerland now go there for surgery, completely independently run. So they created something called what people would call developmental, so it is self-sufficient. Right? And so we wanted to understand how those things are done, how do you create there, as opposed to constant handout, to say, here is a donation, here's another donation here. So how can they become self-sufficient? How can they become the center of excellence? So that was one of the purpose, to learn all of these things that have taken place. Another good example, and we are trying to explore with this institution for Africa, is when the Haiti earthquake happened, there was a Danish couple, they're called the Bach couple. They went to Haiti to say, we can either build schools or we can build a factory. We've just had an earthquake. People are uneducated. What are you going to put up here? So what they did was, they did a deal with Microsoft. They created an assembly plant. Effectively, it was a room. They brought people off the streets who don't have education, gave them 2 weeks of training, right? And then they started screwing and creating computers. From it, they created 100 jobs. So that whole area suddenly became self-sufficient. They didn't need to give anymore because they did a capital expenditure. Today, Bark computers are in every US Microsoft store. And the same company in Buffalo then started employing Syrian and Iraqi refugees in their assembly plant in Buffalo. So the example they were giving is you can have a tea break and everybody is silent because nobody understands each other's language because they're all refugees. One is speaking Afghani, the other one is speaking Arabic, the other one is speaking another dialect, but they're all working together, which means as soon as they came into the country, they didn't become a burden, but became a source of income and economic upliftment to the community. So we were trying to understand some of these learnings as to how have they done it so that we can try to replicate some of this work out into the greater community. We also had Mehdi Hassan, the journalist that was there, and he was talking about the challenges that economies and social justice faces in the 21st century. Because now the narrative is no longer controlled by the paper media. It is all around social media. You can do one thing and it can go viral and either be very positive or it can cause a huge amount of negative publicity. And he was talking about how if we don't engage in global politics, that Islamophobia will become a bigger and bigger issue globally. Not only in Europe, North America, but also in Africa, because in Africa there's a huge investment being pumped into mosques and madrasas and stuff, but of a wrong ideology. And you can read between the lines when I say wrong ideology, and that is going to cause a major impact onto our communities that are living there. So he was talking about how do we engage in a political level that will ensure that we have at least some control on the narrative that is going out. Some of the other work that they did was also around, so in the early parts of when our communities was growing, there was a lot of waqf properties, right? So if you go to Mombasa, you go to Dar es Salaam, you go to Zanzibar, you go to Uganda, you go to any part of Africa, the forefathers of our community used to give up their properties to say, kom mate. Right? And that is how a lot of our East African communities have prospered. Uganda has got a huge amount of properties. You look at Mombasa, you look at Dar es Salaam, it has taken care of the welfare, it has taken care of hospitals, it has provided every strata community looked after through these waqf properties. But in 2017, if you go to somebody saying, we want some kind of donation, some kind of endowment, it is not easy to do that. Muhammad Uncle Dirani is here as well. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad Uncle. For those of you who don't know Muhammad Uncle is one of the past presidents of Africa Federation and has served from the 70s, from the 70s onward for a number of terms. Well, that is true as well. That is true as well. So you can see Stanmore today is the hotbed of dignitaries today. So if you look at waqf properties, a lot of them were giving waqf properties to say this is now for propagation of our faith, to look after the welfare and the needy. But in 2017 it is no longer possible because either the philanthropists have now diversified the businesses, not everybody owns buildings. So how do you create the next 30 years where our community can become self-sufficient, self-sustaining, because it is on these waqf properties that everything else has been running. So you look at, for example, Mombasa, the phase has got so many waqf for which income is generated, for which welfare is being done. I came to said 2030, 2050 ma. So we had a few bankers from our community, by the way. In fact, Muhammad Abbas Virani and Ali Abbas Mirali are from Stanmore. They're living in Dubai, but they are from Stanmore. They work for an investment bank and have been doing a lot of investment work. Ike 50 varas pachi, how can you create an endowment that will allow us to continue propagating our faith, allow us to continue doing our welfare work, and more importantly, inward investment into our own community. So how do we uplift people within our own communities? So they presented a whole concept framework of an endowment fund, how it can be done, how it can be protected, and it's going through a number of drafts and proposals for them to present it. So the World Federation at that stage saying that we would be interested in looking at this and looking at it for our community. So that was some of the stuff that went on in Davos. In a nutshell, it was trying to bring the philanthropists and some of the most high achievers from the community from a professional perspective in one setting. How can we work together? Because the philanthropists want to do work, the professionals saying, look, we are professionals, we will help you, give you the background as to how to do this at the most efficient and optimum level, ultimately to help the community. So that was the purpose. And as you know, alhamdulillah, our community has got lots of philanthropists, and they funded all of this themselves to turn up and do all of this. So ultimately, the World Federation got benefit out of it, of which we are able to then say we can work with a lot of these projects. That is broadly Davos. So one of the direct impact was that we are looking at this endowment fund for the community and how it would work, how we can secure all of this. That will take some time. Because Anwar Bhai's biggest message has been, and he's been telling us as a team and he's been telling the regional federations, is that in order for any institution, Jamaat hoy, ke regional body hoy, ke World Federation hoy, for as long as it is not financially self-sufficient, kai kaam na thawan. And that is his biggest drive. And he has done that successfully in Dar es Salaam, and he's done that with Africa Federation, with a number of their investment projects. If we invest in our community institutions now, the ripple effect will be for his grandchildren and hopefully my great-grandchildren, to say that actually we've got something that is sustainable. Because if there is no investment and there is no income for the community, so you are constantly then asking for donation, constantly begging for money, and which is fine, but at some point there are other projects that require that and you will not have the funding. Particularly things like welfare and all of this. When the need comes, you have to. When Yemen happened, on the day we had to find $1 million to start the work for repatriation. But you can't say. If the community institution, and this includes, so Anwar Bhai's focus is even the Jamaat needs to have its own investments so that it is generating income. And the regional federations need to do that, and the World Federation need to do that. So those are some of the things that Anwar Bhai is focusing this term. In July, August time, the team had gone to Lebanon because the World Federation for the last 4 or 5 years, since the Syria crisis started, we have been working in Lebanon to help the refugees of Syria. And we have spent in excess of a couple of million, right, Mahmoud? 4 or 5? Yeah, a couple of million pounds have been spent in Lebanon for the Syrian refugees. These are refugees who have been destitute, who've flown out of Syria of war. A lot of this work has been done through our donors, and so we had gone to see what work they are doing. One example of the work we are doing in Syria, so when we are talking about developmental work, you can give them food because they need it, emergency shelter, pachisu. So one of the work that we're working on is a psychological center, because all of these people have gone through war trauma, right? Most of these are widows and a lot of children. These guys have seen things that I have never seen in my life. Some of you have seen this through the exodus in Zanzibar, through the exodus of Uganda, right? Then Somalia, and then Yemen, right? But these are things we don't want anybody to see. But this has psychologically affected a lot of these people. People have seen their own fathers being butchered in front. Or if they're not their fathers, when they're leaving the house, they are mutilated bodies outside, right? So it has psychologically affected them. Enusu. So the World Federation is championing a course where we have created a center where there will be psychologists that will help these children and the mothers so that it helps them to rehabilitate so that they are better for the future. That's one of the projects we are doing. We've got housing going on, there's lots, all those stuff. More importantly, we've been working for the last 12 months. Now we have officially been given permission to work inside Damascus. So the World Federation through WF Aid has been working with the Iraqi Red Crescent, and we have been given formal permission to work inside Damascus. And some of the work that we are doing is around the Sayyidina Zainabiyya area. So last month, a team had gone to Damascus with the Lady Zainab Helping Hands, and they've started doing some work there for medical, for education. So we are starting to create a plan for these orphans and widows who are in the Sayyidina Zainab and Sayyidina Ruqayya area. More importantly, we had gone to visit Agha. When Urban Bhai took office, one of the things we decided that as a team we will all go see His Eminence Ayatollah Sistani and all the other Maharajas in Najaf. We spent over 2 hours with Agha, and he gave a whole number of messages which we had released out in the newswire. Critically, as part of the World Federation, we have direct links with Agha and his office. Every President Anwar Bhai, prior to Anwar Bhai, from Mullah's time, we have always had direct relationship with the Marja's office, because the World Federation works under the umbrella of Marjaiyat, and for us Ayatollah Sistani is our current Maharaja, under which we take a lot of guidance and a lot of counsel. You are aware that during the summer there was a lot of issues in North America around same-sex marriages and stuff. Even for that we went to Agha to seek his counsel, and he gave us a lot of advice on how to deal with such matters, because these are not isolated matters. There will be more and more of these social challenges, as I like to call them, within the community and within what is happening in our surroundings. One of the other key projects that we are working on is madrasa. For the last 4 or 5 years, we've been working on a new curriculum, training for all our madrasas globally. Stanmore Jamaat has actually started that curriculum, and in January our madrasa will use the new curriculum. All the teachers are undergoing training. I just want to focus on two aspects of the curriculum. હું જ્યારે મદ્રેસા જાતો હતો તો અમને દિનિયાત, અખલાક, તારીખ ને કુરાન શીખવાડવામાં આવતું હતું. The way education is being taught now, it's all integrated into one. So they don't have compartmentalized. So what we have done with the team is we've created Quran as a center, and everything else is built around it. Right? So you don't learn diniyat, ki akhlaq anymore. You learn about oneness of God. But in that oneness of God, you will learn about akhlaq. You will learn about tariq. You will learn about fiqh. And more importantly, every lesson, 600 lessons here. Every lesson has got one ayat of the Quran, one hadith that has been verified, and one isma of Allah. So there are 99, but then relevant to that particular subject. So we are slowly inculcating in people the need to understand Quran, to look at the hadiths that are correct, and the asma of Allah. Because it's Quranic worldview. The center is Quran and how the whole religion is based around it. So that is an interesting aspect. અને પછી બચાવ માટે જે 5-6 વર્ષના બચાવ છે, ઓલાકા માટે આ મેન્યુઅલ્સ કાઢી નાખ્યા છે. બચાવ વાંચી બી નથી શકતા હજી ત્યારે, પણ એ લોકો માટે સ્ટોરી બુક્સ બનાવ્યા છે. 100 સ્ટોરી બુક્સ બનાવે છે. આ અમારી કોમની બાઈઓ બધી જે લખે છે બધું, ને એમાં બધું કુરાનનું, હદીસનું, એહકામનું આખી બધી સ્ટોરી બુક્સ બનાવે છે. 40 of them are ready. Another 60 are in the process of being finalized. તો બચ્ચાઓને પૂરી ઓલાકાની જે ઇનિશિયલ તરબિયત છે એ થ્રુ સ્ટોરી બુક છે, કારણ કે બચ્ચાઓને સ્ટોરી બહુ મજા આવે. And you as grandparents know this. I mean, my children love to go to their grandma because ખબર છે માં સ્ટોરી કરી દેશે, રાઈટ? ઓલાકાને બહુ મજા આવે ને યાદ રહે. આમ તમે ક્લાસમાં એ શીખાડો એ ભૂલી જાય, ઓલી સ્ટોરી યાદ રહી જશે ઓલા. And that is the concept under which we have developed this. But all of this we have made sure કે these are all under a scholar. એટલે અમારી જેટલી બધી લેસન લખાય છે પહેલા શેખ અબ્બાસ ઇસ્માઇલ ચેક કરે. એને તમે તો બધા ઓળખો છો, સ્ટેનમોર વાળા. શેખ અબ્બાસ પછી આગા બહમાનપુર પાસે જાય, એ બી ચેક કરે કે બધું બરાબર છે કે નહીં. Final sign off is from Said Muhammad Rizvi, Toronto wala. Every lesson has to be signed off by him before we do anything. So we have made sure કે એમાં બી કાંઈ ઇશ્યુઝ ન થાય. અને એમ આખી ટીમ છે, 60 જણા લોકો ને બધા જે બધું એના પર કામ કરી રહ્યા છે. And more importantly, આઈઈમાં મેં ચેન્જીસ લેવા ઇસ્લામિક એજ્યુકેશન, કારણ કે જ્યારે ઓલું પ્રોજેક્ટ નોટ્સનું જ્યારે રિપોર્ટ નીકળ્યું હતું તો કોમમાંથી નીકળ્યું હતું કે 60% કે અમને ઇસ્લામિક એજ્યુકેશન, સ્પિરિચ્યુઆલિટીની બહુ જરૂર છે, આમાં ઇશ્યુઝ છે, એમાં તમે વધારે કામ કરો. એટલે જ્યારે અનવરભાઈ આવ્યા ગાદી તરે તો એ કે પહેલાં તો ઇસ્લામિક એજ્યુકેશનમાં અમને આના ઉપર ભાર દેવો ખપશે, અને એ શેખ અલીદીનાને રિક્વેસ્ટ કર્યા કે એ આવીને હવે ઇસ્લામિક એજ્યુકેશનની ગાદી લઈએ અને એના ઉપર કામ કરે. ખુદાનો ફઝલો કરમથી એ કબૂલ કર્યા, એ આવ્યા છે ને એ આવશે, તમને આજે સાંજના મળજો એને. અને એનું ફોકસ છે એ એની સાથે, અને શેખ મોહમ્મદ અલી ઇસ્માઇલ જેને તમે ઓળખો છો, લંડનવાળા જ છે. જે તો શેખ મોહમ્મદ અલી ઇસ્માઇલ 10 વર્ષથી વધારે કુમમાં બન્યા છે. એના પછી એ સિરિયાના હાઉઝામાં શીખાતા હતા, હમણાં આઈકાસમાં બી છે. એટલે એનું ઇસ્લામિક નોલેજ સ્ટ્રોંગ છે, એનું ફાઉન્ડેશન રાઇટ છે. અને ઓલાકાવે આખી નવી સ્ટ્રેટેજી બનાવે છે કે ઇસ્લામિક એજ્યુકેશન ઉપર એના ઉપર કેવી રીતના ભાર આપે આના ઉપર. એમની નવી બુક બી અમને લાકા છાપી છે, ટેબ્લેટ ઓફ ફાતિમા, જે હું પછી ઓફિસવાળાને કહીશ થોડીક ચોપડીઓ લઈ આવી દે તમને, જે શેખ મોહમ્મદ ખલફાને લખી છે કુંભમાંથી. એટલે આના ઉપર બધું હમણાં કામકાજ ચાલી રહ્યું છે. મને લાગે છે હું બહુ વધારે બોલી લીધો છું, એટલે we'll happily take question and answer, not on what I have said, on anything that you have. Anwar Bhai is here, Oni Bhai is here, will answer questions about Africa Federation. જો તમને Africa Federation ને કાંઈ પૂછવું હોય, generically we are here. અને અનવરભાઈ પાસે બી એક મેસેજ છે તો એ તમને દેશે, અને પછી we will open the question for question and answer, if that is okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل على محمد. મારા બુઝુર્ગો, મારા વડીલો, હું ખાલી ફક્ત 5 મિનિટ બોલીશ, કારણ કે મારે એક મિટિંગ છે બીજી જવાનું, તો મને દરગુજા કરશો. પહેલી પ્રથમ તો હું આ સિનિયર સિટીઝન જે ઓફિસ બેરસની જે કમિટી છે એનો શુક્રગુજાર છું કે આજે મને મોકો આપ્યા છે બોલવાનો. તે લોકોનો આભાર છું, પ્રેસિડેન્ટ સાહેબ, સેક્રેટરી સાહેબ. અને મને ખુશી છે કે આજે મારા દાસમના બુઝુર્ગ પણ મારી સાથે છે અહીંયા, તો એની હાજરીમાં હું શું બોલું હું પોતે વિચાર કરું છું, કારણ કે હું હંમેશા એની પાસેથી જ ગાઈડન્સ લેતો હું. અમારા બુઝુર્ગ મોહમ્મદભાઈ દિરાની, કે મને પણ કાંઈ પણ મશવરા લેવો તો એની જ પાસે મશવરા લેતો હું છું. અલ્હમ્દુલિલ્લાહ, એ પણ આજે અહીંયા સાથે છે. ભાઈઓ, એટલું જ કહીશ, વર્લ્ડ ફેડરેશનમાં અને ખાસ કરી મારા પ્રત્યે આ બુઝુર્ગોની બહુ ઇજ્જત છે, બહુ સોફ્ટ કોર્નર છે, અને તમારી ઇજ્જત છે. ખરેખર હું બહુ ખુશ છું. જ્યારે પણ મને મોકો મળે છે સિનિયર સિટીઝન સાથે બેસવાનું, હું મારા પોતે ફખર સમજું છું. આ એક ફખરની વાત છે કે જ્યારે આવા બુઝુર્ગો સાથે મારા જેવા માણસ બેસે અને તમારા વડીલો પાસેથી હું કંઈ સમજું, હું કંઈ શીખું, એ પણ મારા માટે એક નેમત અને બરકત છે. તેવો હું શુક્રગુજાર છું તમારા સર્વનો. ભાઈ, હદીસ છે રસૂલ ખુદાની કે બુઝુર્ગોની હાજરીની અંદર તમે બેસો તો તમારા માટે પણ બરકત થશે, અને જે ઘરમાં બુઝુર્ગ હોય એ ઘરમાં નેમતો બરકત ઉતરશે. તો પછી આખા કોમને તમારા જો બુઝુર્ગ હોય તો આ કોમમાં પણ બરકતો જ ઉતરતી હોય છે. ખાસ કરીને આપણા નસીમકોના બુઝુર્ગો હોય કે કોઈ જ ન હોય, કે આફ્રિકા ફેડરેશનના સિનિયર સિટીઝન જે આપણે સ્થાપના કરી છે તે ખરેખર બહુ વિચારીને કામ થયું છે. અને હું જે આ પ્લાન બનાવ્યા છે એ લોકોનો ઘણો આભારી છું કે આજે બુઝુર્ગોની સાથે આપણે બેસીને એ લોકો ડિસ્કસ કરીએ છીએ. એ લોકોના નેમતો અને બરકતોથી અમને પણ આબાદ રહી છે અને અમારી કામકાજમાં અમને સહુલત થઈ છે. તો ભાઈઓ, તમારી ઇજ્જત છે, એમને તમારું બહુ સોફ્ટ કોર્નર છે, તમે અમારા હંમેશા અમારા માટે તમે દુઆ કરો. બુઝુર્ગોની દુઆઓ હંમેશા જલ્દી કબૂલ થાય છે. અમે નાચીસ ગુનેગાર બંધાઓ છે, તમારા બધા વડીલોની દુઆની ખાસ જરૂર છે. મારી પાસે વધારે કંઈ ખાસ છે ને બોલવાનું ઘણું ખરું તો બોલી લીધા છે આપણા શબીરભાઈ, શબ્બરભાઈ, અને કંઈ પણ હશે તો કદાચ અમુક સવાલનો જવાબ એ પણ તમે જવાબ આપી દેશે, કારણ કે એ અત્યારે ફિલ્ડમાં છે ઘણા અહીંયા. બસ તો મારું આટલું જ મુખ્તસર મેસેજ છે આપવાનું. અને આજે અમારે બીજી એક મિટિંગ છે, હમણાં મને જવાનું હતું 11:15 વાગે, તો હું તમારા પાસે રજા લઈશ. દરગુજર કરજો, મને માફ કરજો કે વધારે ટાઈમ નથી આપી શકો તમને. વસ્સલામુ અલૈકુમ વરહમતુલ્લાહિ વબરકાત. હું જાઉં તો પહેલાં સાવ મરહુમીન આપણા બધા જે આપણા બુઝુર્ગો મરહુમીન આપણી સાથે હતા વખત પહેલાં, આજે આપણી સાથે નથી, ખુદાના પ્યારા થઈ ગયા છે. તેમાં સર્વ મરહુમીનના સવા માટે સૂર્ય ફાતિહા પડવા ખાસ વિનંતી કરું છું. ફાતિહા. બિસ્મિલ્લાહ.
We fully understood what you are saying about the latest developments, which is fantastic. But according to my view, this is suitable for developed countries. You go to America, Canada, UK, it can easily be adopted. But you consider countries like, you go back to Zanzibar. Do you mean to say you'll be able to really make use of this kind of program? Madrasa stuff for people living in Zanzibar? No, that's one. Number two, are you going to take stock after a certain period of time to see whether it has achieved your objectives or not? Because it should not happen that as a result of the latest developments, you come to a stage where you find that now the children don't know anything about akhlaq, they don't know anything about diniyat. They are accustomed to doing everything according to your latest development. So is there a program to do that?
Thank you, Murtaza uncle. So when we started the MCE program, as we were setting the parameters as to how the madrasa system will get revised, I still remember this. So we were sitting in a meeting in Dubai, and all of these things came out and all of this. I said, one thing we have to remember is that as a community, we are the same. When you go to Lindi, or you go to Zanzibar, or you go to Lamu, or you go to Uganda, when there is pilau, there is the same pilau. So, we are Khojas. So our students are exactly the same. We may have a little variation. Some of us call it mandazi and other people call it mahamri, but the thing is exactly the same. Right? So that was one of the underpinning principles under which we worked with. Anything that we developed has to be able to go across the spectrum. So specifically on this, what we have done is we have developed 3 training programs, particularly on training and developing the teachers before they can implement this new program. So what happens is, Sayyid Ali Naqvi, those of you who know him, is currently doing a master's in education. So he has developed a program to start training teachers on how to be able to train under this new style. In fact, the biggest recipient has been Africa, where he has gone and trained hundreds of teachers already in Africa. In fact, this weekend that just passed, we had 3 sessions in Africa, 1 in Paris and 2 in Stanmore. So globally, a lot of this work has started. The second bit of training we've done is something called Neuro, Psychology of Learning. This is where the teachers are taught about the psychology of a child, how they work and how they function. What we then did was we developed it in UK. We created local trainers. So for example, in Africa, there are 20 local trainers that have been trained who are now training madrasas locally. We've done the same for North America and same for UK. And then when the new curriculum comes, Ali Nasser goes and trains them on how to teach all of this. So we are trying to make sure that a madrasa from Zanzibar to a madrasa in Stanmore is able to inculcate. Because when we looked at education, particularly in developing countries, so both India, Pakistan and Africa, and Bashir Datu from Orlando did a lot of work around this. Even the local schools have started going towards this system. So the students have already started getting used to this style of learning. When it comes to impact, that is hugely critical. So we have done 2 things on impact. As the curriculum is being developed, we are constantly taking feedback from the teachers, from the students, and from the madrasa administration, saying, are you finding any difference? Is it benchmarking against what you have done before? And it's a constant process. So at the moment, for example, Portsmouth Jamaat has started, Haidari Jamaat has already started in UK, right? So constantly they're giving feedback as to, is this working, is this not working? I'll give you one example. Two things have happened in Haidari specifically, particularly for the young children. A lot of them, the parents are now saying that on a Saturday, because their madrasa runs on a Saturday, they are being forced to go to madrasa, as opposed to children not wanting to wake up, now they want to wake up to go to madrasa. So at least there is one positive impact on it. And when it comes to learning, so they are checking whether they are retaining that information or that knowledge. Children are able to go home and regurgitate hadith to the parents, because they've made it into rhymes and stories and everything. So they are able to now absorb even more knowledge. So we are doing a constant check to make sure that the evaluation is being done. The other thing we have done is that, so the last major curriculum that was developed was by Marhum Ali Raza Nanji in the 80s. Anything else that you see is just evolution. The core was built in the 80s by Marhum Ali Raza Nanji in Africa Federation at the time. So we are making sure that every 2 years there is a team that is reviewing to make sure that it is constantly checked and making sure the right information is put in there. So that is how we are trying to counterbalance and put in checks to make sure we can meet some of these challenges.
Mr. Chairman, everybody, Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I want to extend my congratulations to you and Anwar Bhai for having taken over this post in the World Federation. I know under Anwar Bhai will have some progress, and we know Anwar Bhai started with Dastan Jamaat, then he became chairman of Africa Federation. Now he's the chairman of World Federation. And after that, there's only one post which I can think of, probably is the president of Tanzania. Anyhow, because I want to speak on a language, I'll now change my speaking into Gujarati. I mean, આપણે કોમ હવે ઘણા દુનિયામાં they spread over. If you go to Madagascar, they speak French, and the youths are speaking French. If you go to Portuguese, they speak Portuguese. If you go to Karachi, they speak Urdu. If you go to Bombay, they speak Hindi. And if you go to Bhavnagar, they speak Gujarati. And if you go to Mandvi or Mundra, they speak Kutchi. I mean, so a community of 120,000 people, any community, koi pan kom, unity depends upon the language. We are talking about what will happen to our community in 20 or 30 years. હું કહું છું જો તમારી પાસે ભાષા નહીં હોય તો 20-30 વર્ષ પછી એક માણસ ઇંગ્લિશ સ્પીકિંગ થઈ ગયો છે યુરોપવાળો, એક ગુજરાતી સ્પીકિંગવાળો થઈ ગયો છે. વી વિલ નોટ હેવ એનીથિંગ. અને હું તમને એ યાદ દેવડાવું કે વેર મુલ્લા અસગર મારું ખુદાને નસીબ કરે જન્નતમાં ઊંચો દરજ આપે. એ હતા ને અમે આફ્રિકા ફેડરેશનથી અમે એક રિઝોલ્યુશન લઈ આવ્યા. રિઝોલ્યુશન લઈ આવ્યા કે નાવ ગુજરાતી શુડ બી ટોટ ઇન ઓલ ધ કોમ્યુનિટીઝ. શું થયું એનું? મુલ્લા અસગરે ત્યારે કહ્યું કે મારી જિંદગીમાં એક બેસ્ટમાં બેસ્ટ રિઝોલ્યુશન આવ્યું છે. કોઈ કંઈ એનો તમે you gave a report here for more than half an hour. You never spoke about the language. The language is the most important thing which unites the community. So what will happen to this community after 20 or 30 years when we are talking of 30 or 40 years ahead? When we will not be able to. I'll tell you of one example, of my own family example, another example. એક માણસભાઈ હતો રિયુનિયન વાળો, ફ્રેન્ચ જાણતો હતો. એ ગયો મડેગાસ્કારમાં એની ભાઈને બહેનોને મળવા કેટલા 10-15 વર્ષ પછી. એ લોકો બેચારા બોલી ન શક્યા. હવે હું તમને બીજો મારો દાખલો આપું. મારી ઘરવાળી ન્યુયોર્કમાં ગઈ, એના દોહિત્રા ગ્રાન્ડ ચિલ્ડ્રન સાથે વાતો ન કરી શકે. એ લોકો ઇંગ્લિશ બોલે ને મારી ઘરવાળી કચ્છી ને ગુજરાતી બોલે. હવે આ કોમમાં શું થશે? We are not giving any importance to the language. And one thing, science has proved that a person can learn up to the age of 12 years, he can learn 6 languages. ને આપણા છોકરામાં સુધી મને ખબર છે, મારા પોતે બીજા બચ્ચા છે, 10 અંદર 6 ભાષા જાણે છે. They can speak 6 languages. આપણા ત્યાંમાં તે ગુજરાતી, સ્વાહિલી, કચ્છી, ઉર્દુ, ઇંગ્લિશ બધા બોલે છે. તમારે ગાસમાં ઇંગ્લિશ ને ફ્રેન્ચ એ બોલે છે. તો પછી તો ભાષા ભરવું એમ નથી કે ભાષા તમે એક જ શીખાડો એટલે સ્ટોપ થઈ ગયું. ભાષા તમે ઘણી ભાષા શીખાડી શકો છો. તો વાય નોટ, વોટ ફેડરેશન ઇઝ નોટ ડુઈંગ એનીથિંગ. આઈ મીન દાસમ જમાતમાં અમે શરૂ કર્યા ગુજરાતી ક્લાસીસ. હું પોતે જ એને ગુજરાતી શીખાતો હતો, પછી હું ચેરમેન થઈ ગયો, મને ટાઈમ ન મળ્યો, પણ ત્યાં હજી સુધી ગુજરાતી ક્લાસીસ ચાલે છે. તો આપણે ઇફ વી વિલ લૂઝ અવર લેંગ્વેજ, આઈ એમ ટેલિંગ યુ, વી લૂઝ અવર યુનિટી ઓલ્સો. આપણે જે યુનિટીની વાત કરીએ છીએ એ બધું ગુમ થઈ જશે જો આપણે ભાષા પર ધ્યાન નહીં રાખવું. સો આઈ એમ રિક્વેસ્ટિંગ ધ વર્લ્ડ ફેડરેશન, ઓલ ધ ફેડરેશન, કે ભાઈ ભાષાઓ પર, લેંગ્વેજો પર વધારે ભાર આપો. ધેટ ઇઝ પોઈન્ટ નંબર 1. બીજું પોઈન્ટ, આઈ ડોન્ટ નો, હું આ વર્ષે બોલું છું, આઈ ડોન્ટ નો વેધર આઈ એમ રાઈટ ઓર રોંગ, પણ આપણે જોઈ રહ્યા છીએ કે આપણી કોમ 120 શિયા ઇસ્નાશીઓ દુનિયામાં about કેટલા 300-400 મિલિયન છે. બરાબર. એમાંથી એક સરકાર છે, ઈરાનની સરકાર કે શિયાની છે. લેબનનમાં શિયાનું જોર વધારે છે. ઇરાકમાં પણ શિયાની ગવર્મેન્ટ છે. સિરિયામાં પણ લગભગ શિયાનો વધારે છે. બધા ગવર્મેન્ટ છે. શિયામાં દુબઈની અંદર બધા જગ્યાએ મલ્ટી મિલિયનર છે. આપણું કોણ ધ્યાન રાખે છે? આપણને ત્યાં હુલ્લર થયું, યુગાન્ડામાંથી નીકળ્યા, આપણને કઈ અરબની સરકાર, અરબવાળા, દુબઈવાળા 1 સેન્ટ પણ આપ્યું છે? મને આપ કહો, આપણે સોમાલીથી $2 મિલિયન ખર્ચો થયો, આપણને કોઈ દુબઈથી કોઈ અબોજોપતિ છે કે સાઉદી અરેબિયામાં હજુ 1 શિલિંગ પણ આપ્યું છે? ને આપણે નીકળીએ કે આપણે ઈરાકમાં આ કરીએ છીએ, તે ઈરાકની સરકાર ગરીબ સરકાર નથી. ત્યાં બધું સરકાર કરે છે. આપણી કોમમાં ગરીબી છે. આપણી કોમની અંદર જે માણસો પાસે ભણતર નથી, આપણા કોમ પાસે જે મકાનો નથી. ને આપણે પોતે આફ્રિકા ફેડરેશન નક્કી કર્યું છે કે 5 વર્ષનો ટર્મમાં વી વોન્ટ ટુ બિલ્ડ હાઉસીસ ફોર પીપલ. ને આપણે જ્યાં હાઉસીસ બનાવીએ છીએ ત્યાં કુંભમાં આપણે હાઉસીસ બનાવીએ છીએ, કરબલામાં ને ત્યાં બનાવીએ છીએ. ને આપણે પોતે ગુજરાતીમાં છે ને કહેવત કે શું ઘંટી ચાટે ને પાડોશી વાટો, આ તો શું એવું થયું ને. આપણી કોમ 1,20,000 જે 0.0 કેટલા થાય. અને ઉમાં કોમ છે, આખી કોમ ઈરાનની છે, પૈસા વાળી છે. આટલો લોકો પાસે બધા દુનિયાભરના લોકો સામે એવો વિરુદ્ધ છે તોય પોતે સરકાર ચલાવે છે. ઈરાક સરકાર પાસે ખૂબ પૈસો ને ઓઇલનો પૈસો છે. ને આપણે ગરીબ કોમ, આપણે પોતાના માણસો પાસે મકાનો નથી. આજે આજકાલ દાસ્તાની અંદર શું પરિસ્થિતિ છે? માણસોને પગાર 1 મિલિયન નથી મળતો. 1 મિલિયનમાં કાંઈ બધાને ખબર છે કે ચાલતું નથી. બીજા માંગી નથી શકતા. કોઈ પાસે મકાન નથી. ભાડા વધતા જાય છે. સરકારના ભાડા, અડધો પગાર ભાડામાં જાય છે. એનું આપણે શું કરીએ છીએ? I mean, I'm not criticizing, but I'm just suggesting that, but let us give more importance to our own community than thinking of other share brothers. Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
થેન્ક યુ મોહમ્મદ અંકલ. આ જે તમે લેંગ્વેજની વાત કરી, સાચી વાત કર્યા. અને આના ઉપર આખી ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટ ફોર્મ થઈ છે, જે શેખ કુમેલ રજાની અને મુરબ્બી હસનૈનભાઈ વાલજી એના ઉપર કામ કરી રહ્યા છે. તો ફેબ્રુઆરીમાં એનું રિપોર્ટ બી આવશે. અને મારા બુઝુર્ગોને હું હમણાંથી આમંત્રણ આપી દઉં છું. ફેબ્રુઆરીની મિટિંગ સ્ટેનમોરમાં જ હશે, તો તમે બધા હાજર દેશો. અને એમાંથી પહેલું કામ તો આ જે ઇન્ડિયાની ટ્રીપ જે થવાની છે ઇન્શાઅલ્લાહ જાન્યુઆરીમાં, જે મને ખબર છે 1-2 બુઝુર્ગો જાય છે, તો એ આ શરૂઆતનું કામ શરૂ કરી છે. પોતાની કોમની વસ્તુની ધ્યાન રાખવામાં આફ્રિકા ફેડરેશન સાથે હવે 2 પ્રોજેક્ટ શરૂ કરી નાખ્યા છે હાઉસિંગના. અસગરીનું હાઉસિંગ જે અમારી કોમના થશે. હમણાં મને ખબર છે આફ્રિકા ફેડરેશને બીજી સાઇન કરી છે દાસલામ જમાત સાથે ઉરુ પ્રોજેક્ટમાં, કે આ બધા હાઉસિંગ અમારી કોમ માટે બધું કરીએ. એજ્યુકેશનમાં બી અમારી કોમ માટે મને ખબર છે આફ્રિકા ફેડરેશન જે મોહમ્મદભાઈ દિરાની જેના પાસ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ એનું બહુ ઘણું બધું કામ કરી ગયા છે. અને અમે ઓલાકા સાથે ઘણું બધું, ઝાકમેફ સાથે ને ઘણું બધું કામ ચાલ્યું છે અમારી પોતાની કોમ માટે યુકેમાં ને નોર્થ અમેરિકામાં બી. એટલે અમે અમારા પોતાને ભૂલી નથી ગયા. અમારે પાસે કરીએ છીએ અને બીજા માટે બી કરીએ છીએ જ્યાં જરૂર પડે છે કરવાની. હું 2-3 સવાલ સાથે લઈ શકું અને પછી એના જવાબ બી દઈ શકું છું.
અસ્સલામ વાલેકુમ. હું English પછી ગુજરાતી પણ થોડું થોડું કરીશ because I didn't get time. ઇંગ્લિશમાં ફાસ્ટ જાય છે. Assalamu alaikum. This is very good. We have started like this. World Federation should visit many centers like this and take a thought of the people themselves. This is very good idea, and if they can repeat intervally, so elokone feedback malse. Another thing I will suggest to them that they should keep a think tank, and whatever comments is coming to from the community, like our past president has mentioned culture and language, and we should start to light our candle in our house rather than outside and get the fame. The people of ours then divert their finances and everything to other communities and to other projects, which is not benefiting to the community. This is one they are tackling. It is a big job for them, but this is a good thing to realize, since Northern Star work has been done and they have been opened the eyes to them. Another thing is for them to uplift our community members and this thing, they should they should create platform in the sense that they have to delegate to the community, like seniors, like professionals who are working, like those who are studying students, what is they want, what is their ideas, what is the professional thing that we should do, and also what the seniors have got a lot of ideas. This thing, yeah, okay, this thing should be tackled by them. And finally, which is very good, they are doing investment, everything. You see, in our community, there are a lot of bodies who are collecting money of khums. Now, this khums, if it goes to World Federation is collecting, we are getting 50% ijaza. But other bodies who are taking the money, they are doing in their own projects. Now, these projects, World Federation doing, they are doing, sometimes it is duplicated, and one project, maybe 3-4 bodies are financing, and other bodies which needs money does not get anything. So this is part of the question. Thank you very much. Sant.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I think Shabbar Bhai, Anwar Bhai, Mohammed Bhai has covered quite a lot when he spoke earlier. So I don't have much to say except that I know Mohammed Bhai spoke about language. My apologies, ma Gujarati વાળું સારું નથી. મને માફ કરજો, હું જંગબાથી આવ્યો છું. છતાં થોડોક બોલી શકું છું, પણ મને લાગે છે કે ટાઈમના લીધે હું ખાલી થોડો ઇંગ્લિશમાં બોલીશ કે જે હવે ગુજરાતીમાં બોલું છું. શબરભાઈ જે બોલ્યા છે એ જે પ્રકાશ પાડ્યા છે એ મને લાગે છે વર્લ્ડ ફેડરેશન, આફ્રિકા ફેડરેશન એન્ડ ગ્લોબલી કવર કર્યો છે. સો વધારે મને બોલવાનું નથી, ખાલી મને તમને થેન્ક યુ કહેવું છે આપણા મુર્તઝાભાઈ, સુલતાનભાઈ, that he invited me. It's a privilege to be with you all here, and I'm very thankful, and I learn a lot. When I sit in these sessions, we learn a lot, especially from our elders. તો કાંઈ પણ સવાલ હોય આફ્રિકા ફેડરેશન પર તો હું આ ટાઈમ વધારે નથી લેવું, આ ટાઈમ તમારો છે. તો હું કહીશ થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ. કાંઈ સવાલ હોય તો મને પૂછા કરજો. હાફિઝ.